the panel, like, were they very interactive with you, or were they kind of like stone-faced? Like, how did that make you feel? Was it like super intimidating, or were they friendly and encouraging? Yeah, elaborate on that.
So be prepared. So you interview, this was just my thing that I was thrown off. So you're at the head of like a really long conference table when you walk in. So like be prepared for that. I thought I was gonna be like kind of off to the side, but like you are the center of attention, and I like it was weird. But they are very interactive, and they really like we kind of said, like all of them will kind of ask, like they've developed their own questions. I don't know if you know this, you all have nicknames already with Fetcher. That's how they remember certain things about your application. So like starting basically as soon as you're a finalist, like they remember you based on nicknames that you've given you. That's how personally they know your application. And so kind of just like, so there, it's almost like it's less like an interview and more like a family dinner with like extended family that you don't know super well, if that makes sense. So they're very interactive, and they like, all of mine were like smiling at some of the stories I was telling and like that kind of thing. So they weren't like stone faced and they're not cold. They're really an amazing group of people and some of the nicest people that you'll meet. So just like kind of consider that. Like they're not gonna be stonewall and just cold or anything.
I will add on to that. I will add on to that because you only have 15 minutes, they may not ask follow-up questions to what you said, so don't take that as a sign of, oh, that wasn't interesting. It's more just that because you only have 15 minutes, they want to get through a couple questions. They don't want to dwell on one question for those entire 15 minutes. But like Chelsea said, they'll smile and things of that nature, but they might not follow up on things. But don't let that catch you off guard. It's normal for them to move on to another question.
Also, this might surprise you. I mean, if you're expecting it to be an interview, but you might also get complimented. So it's also sets a tone that's not going to be scary in terms like they're not trying to threaten you or anything. I mean, you might get complimented too. So it's a nice environment that's pleasant.
For me, I honestly felt it was more like a conversation than more of an interview. Because the questions are tailored to your application, you're basically telling your story to them. So you do like come into this room and like at first it is like, oh my gosh, all these people are around this table and I have to speak to them. But for me, it became more like a storytelling, and like that's kind of where my passion came through, is I was able to tell my story to these people. And sometimes they don't ask follow-up questions, but a lot of my interview people did ask me follow-up questions on, regardless of what it was, just something that furthered the story.
So I don't have a mic, so I'm just going to talk as loud as I can really briefly. So you get good preparation going into this interview. You'll be called in from the meeting room, which is pretty much where you'll see some current scholars, and you'll be able to talk with them and just like have a nice conversation. And then you'll get called into a like little briefing session with Tiffany right before one-on-one. She's going to give you a rundown of what to expect. So you don't need to introduce yourself, no handshakes, you only have 15 minutes. And then she'll ask you a nice, easy introductory question to like get you warmed up and get you talking about interesting things from the application. And you get to have this one-on-one conversation with her before you actually go into this big room with like 8 people around a table. And that's really nice because you're now ready to talk, you're not like, you're warmed up. So they ease you into this meeting room pretty well.
You also get your first interview questions. So the first question that they'll ask you around the table, Tiffany will tell you before you go in. So that way you're kind of prepared and you can start thinking ahead of time. And then that way when you go in, you're ready with an answer and ready to kind of continue as well.
That's a great point.
So they give you your first interview question. And so Tiffany will tell you, like, they're going to ask you this question. So you can kind of be thinking about it as you walk into the room, and that way once you sit down, they'll say like, hi, it's great to meet you, and then they'll kind of dive right in, but you're already prepared. And so once you have that one thing down, it's just like, from there it just kind of flows. It's very easy, like a conversation. So you'll be prepared pretty much with that first question, and really from there it's just allowing yourself to relax and let your passions and your personality show through.
Thank you all very much for your attention, and we're not gonna completely cut it off right here. What's gonna happen is, you know, some of you all might need to head out, and I understand that. We have the room until about, well, they might start to come and clean up and break down at about 7:30. So you're welcome to hang out. There's still more food and some more, you know, water and coffee and stuff over there. You're welcome to help out, hang out. Some of our scholars may also be able to spend a little bit extra time and hang out with us here. So if you have any questions, maybe you didn't want to ask in front of everybody. What I also want to stress to you all is you have my contact information. Some of these scholars may have also reached out and called you ahead of time and left you a message and, you know, invited you personally. And so you have their contact information also. But in terms of questions you maybe forget to ask, or man, I wish I would have remembered darn it, email me. You think of questions over the next tomorrow, just spend some time brainstorming and send me a list of questions, and I'm happy to share it with them, and we can get you some answers back, or a phone call, and we can set up some time for you to talk to one of them, if you all would like that extra time and attention. So again, you know, for me as an advocate for our students here, it's an amazing part of my job to be able to connect with them. You know, the group and the family that we built here within this Bachelor program is, for me, not something where I come to work to lead the group. I come to work and I come to be a part of the family that we have here. You know, Chelsea, Sydney, Natalie have all kind of taken the lead in their own ways in kind of developing some of this programming this year. But for me, each and every one of us, you know, in our own way, bring something to this group that makes it remarkable. And whether or not it's an opportunity to go and cheer on Sydney at a softball game, or if it's all of us last semester connecting and going and cheering on Daniel as he was the director of that play for Minds Little Theater, those are those little moments that are very special. And this is a rigorously academically challenging situation that you'll find yourself in at Minds. And you're gonna find yourself in a situation during your first year where it will get a little bit difficult sometimes, whether it's because your family doesn't understand what you're going through, you don't understand what you're going through, you're not only learning how to learn again in college, but also how to live on your own maybe, how to, I have plenty of stories of students teaching students how to do laundry, you know what I mean? Like, you know, YouTubing videos on how to do laundry, you know what I mean? Like,
Please learn that.
like these
I
are
will teach
little
all the
things
guys in
that
my
you sometimes don't always realize until you're in the moment. But for now, leading up to your Bachelor interview, leading up to your college decisions, this journey that you're on right now is super special, and it's only gonna come by one time. Learn as much as you can, ask as many questions as you can, and know that myself as an advocate for higher ed, I'm happy to receive your questions. I'm happy to pass them on to our group. I'm happy to connect you with somebody if you want to be able to talk to them a little bit more. And then last but not least, again, this is really an opportunity for us to recognize you all and all of your accomplishments. And so we did put together a small little, gifts for you all. And so, let's see, Preston is with us. And so Preston, here you go. This is a small little gift from us for you, and congratulations on being a Bachelor finalist.
Are both of you here?
Yeah, Ethan Meyer.
Wow, Ethan Meyer, Ethan Sharon?
Josué Acevedo. Very nice. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. Yeah, some of them are from the bottom. Emma Hollenstein. Connor Voss. Connor did join us. Claire. Yep. So with that, we'll go ahead and break the panel. And like I said, if you want to grab some more food before you head out, talk to any of the scholars who are hanging out for a bit. And like I said, we have maybe about 20, 25 more minutes with the room. So thank you all again so much, and thank you to our
Thank you
panel.
for coming.